Welcome everybody, thanks for joining me. In this class, I'll be guiding you through a series of movements that will focus on opening up the spine and releasing tension in the hips. You'll need a mat or a soft surface as well as a full-length foam roller. Let's get started. We're going to go ahead and place the foam roller vertically down the center of our mat. And you want to lay on the roller head to tail, making sure that your whole body is supported. Nothing is hanging off of either end. Begin by placing your hands down on the floor and gently rocking side to side on the foam roller. Sometimes even just this little movement can feel really nice because it helps to massage the muscles on either side of your spine, specifically between your two shoulder blades. Be careful you don't run over your hair like I just did. Good. So just a little side to side movement. There's no right or wrong here with the movements that you can be doing. You can rotate your head a little bit as well. Maybe you have some tension that you're holding in your skull. Then let's just find a moment of stillness on the roller. Feel again that you're nice and aligned after all that side to side movement. Recenter yourself. We'll have our feet flat on the floor, just about shoulder width apart. Take a big breath in through your nose, lift your arms up to the ceiling and all the way back behind your head, let your rib cage expand. Bend your elbows and slowly drag the backs of your fingertips and hands along the ground if possible, all the way back to your hips. Let's do that a couple of times. So breathe in, reach your arms up and back, allow the rib cage to expand and the back to arch a little bit. And then bend your elbows, exhale as you drag the back of your hands slowly along the mat, all the way back to your hips. One more of those. There should be a specific point on your body where when you bend your elbows and start to drag your hands towards your hips, there's a really kind of tight spot across the front of your chest. When you find it, stay there and just hold it for a second. So for me, that's usually just about where my elbows are in line with my shoulders. Try to sink a little deeper into the stretch, let go of anything that is holding you back. Your hands may or may not be on the floor, depending on how tight you might be today. And you can start to continue on with the rest of that circle, bringing your arms back down towards your hips. Now we're going to reverse the direction of our arms. So starting with your hands down by your sides, but flip the palms of your hands up to face the ceiling. Keeping your arms straight, start to drag your arms out to the sides. The back of the hands are in contact with the floor until they absolutely have to leave the ground when they're over your head. Maybe they're still on the ground here, maybe they're not. But if they had to leave, that's fine. Then you're going to start to pull your ribs together. Exhale as you lift your arms up to the ceiling and bring your hands all the way down to the floor. Breathe in, sweep the arms out, all the way back behind the head, allow the ribs to expand. Exhale, pull the ribs together, and that helps pull the arms back up to the ceiling. One more time. And exhale up. You can stop your hands just on top of your shoulders, rotate the palms of your hands to face each other, take arm scissors, one arm goes back, other arm goes forward. Time it if possible so that your hands hit the floor at the exact same moment in time. Keep your core a little tight here. Try to stabilize your spine against the movement of your arms. So there's no movement of the roller, there's no rock right or left at this moment. We're going to do that in just a second, but right now try to find stillness. Bring both arms straight to the ceiling. You can keep the palms of your hands facing each other. We're going to go into some scapular protraction and retraction. So those are just fancy words for letting the shoulder blades separate and then squeezing them back down towards each other. Keep your hands the same distance apart as you reach your arms up and down. Protraction is when you reach your arms to the ceiling, your scapulas come apart off the roller, and then retraction is when you squeeze your shoulder blades back down onto the roller. This movement is important for the health of your shoulders. Sometimes people lose their ability to go through this movement, and that can be a big reason why there's shoulder impingements or just shoulder issues in general because of improper movement patterns. So this is one of the movements that your scapulas and shoulders should be able to do comfortably in order for them to function well. Next, we're going to bring our hands behind the head. You can interlace your hands and support the head. Curl up like you're coming into a little sit-up. Look towards your knees and press your back firmly into the roller so there's no arch in your lumbar spine. Begin to gently rock right and left on the roller, similar to how we started this class, but now in this upper body chest lift position, you should be able to exert a little more force or pressure down into the roller, so you might get a better massage here. I usually do. And as you can see, you can really be quite generous with your movements side to side. Be careful if you are on a hard surface that if you do suddenly fall off the roller, you're not going to be landing on something really hard. Keep your gaze kind of towards your legs. Don't stare at the ceiling when you're in these lifted positions. All right, then you can gently come off of the roller and turn it horizontally so it's behind your shoulders. Lay back on the roller so that your scapulas are right on the foam roller itself. Knees are still bent, feet flat on the floor, about shoulder width apart. We're once again going to interlace our hands to support our head and bring our hands behind the head. Keep your hips on the ground, take a big glorious back bend over the foam roller. Let your head be heavy. Exhale as you curl yourself up, draw your elbows narrow, look towards your knees. Again, big breath. Inhale, open your chest. Let your ribs expand, let your head be heavy. Exhale as you curl yourself up. You can certainly play around with the positioning of the roller if it doesn't quite feel right for you. Usually it's going to be more intense if the roller is lower on your back, like beneath your shoulder blades, will cause a steeper or more aggressive back bend. So if you need to ease this up, simply kind of scoot your hips down towards your feet, and then that will decrease the amount of range of motion you'll be getting, and that might be more suitable to how you're feeling tonight. Again, wherever you're happiest. As you lean back with your head heavy in your hands, notice if there's a stretch that you're getting across the front of your shoulders and pecs. The weight of your head helps to aid in the stretch you might be feeling. As you curl up on your next one, stay lifted for a moment. You probably want to back up just a little bit more on the roller. And what we're going to do is turn our knees. Let's say we turn both of our knees to the left. So my right knee is kind of towards the sole of my left foot. I'm going to take a little back bend over the foam roller. Maybe you're able to get your right knee towards all the way to the ground, but maybe not. Wherever you're at is fine. We're going to keep the legs the same. Curl yourself up, look towards your legs. Now, from here, we're going to roll onto our left side. Place your left elbow down onto the floor like a little kickstand. This might already be super tender. You're going to gently roll forward and back on the muscles that surround your scapula. This is usually pretty tender. It's not one of my go-to things because it's a little painful, but once again, super beneficial to helping free up those shoulders so they're not so tight. This can help release the shoulder joint, especially if you are noticing that it's coming from your back under those scapulas. You can start to slowly return back to your starting position with your feet flat. Again, if you moved around too much, just back up a little bit on the roller. We're now going to drop both of our knees towards the right. I like to take a back bend over the roller and attempt to press my left knee down to the ground. Doesn't always happen, depends on the day. Exhale as we curl up, kind of looking towards the knees. And now I'm going to come up and over, place my right elbow on the ground like a little kickstand. Begin to roll forward and back. You'll know if you're in the right spot because it will be tender. If you're not in the right spot, adjust. I wasn't quite there yet, so I had to go up a little bit higher. You'll feel some like stringy-like muscles rippling as you roll back and forth on the roller. Try to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Try to relax. Letting go of tension. And you can start to come back to your normal centered position. Now, from here, we're gonna flush this all out. This is gonna feel much better, I promise. You're gonna squeeze your glutes, gently lift your hips up off of the floor, and physically roll out your upper and mid back. At this point, squeeze your elbows straight up towards the ceiling so that your scapulas separate. Then you'll be able to roll out the muscles now between your shoulder blades. If you're anything like me, these are the ones that get super tight. I often have knots in between my scapulas. So this is my go-to movement on the roller. It's one of my favorite things. You may get a few snaps, crackles, and pops in your spinal column while you're doing this. That's all good, totally normal. And you want to make sure you're staying on your rib cage, so do not roll onto your neck or your lower back. Place your hips down onto the ground. Usually put my hands or forearms on the roller and help myself up from there. Great. Now we're going to lay onto our belly facing the foam roller. Separate your hands and feet about as wide as your mat and place your wrists on top of the roller so that you're, like if you had a watch on, that's where your wrists are on the roller. Drop your head heavy through your arms. From here, take a breath in through the nose, press down through your wrists, and roll the roller towards you as you peel your spine off the mat. Exhale as you place yourself slowly back down onto the floor, lengthening the spine as you lower down. Again, begin to press down through your forearms and especially underneath those scapulas, the muscles we were just working. They're going to contract to help pull the roller towards you as you lift your back. And exhale, lower back down. Do this a few more times. Keep your legs active, so I'm squeezing my glutes. And you can allow your two hip bones to come up off the floor as you come up into swan, but do keep your pubic bone on the ground. One more time. And lower yourself down from there. You can leave the roller where it is for a moment, plant your palms underneath your shoulders, and we'll press ourselves back into a child's pose. Bring your feet together, knees apart, hips to heels. Shifting up to an all fours position, stack your shoulders over your wrists and your hips on top of your knees. Let's cycle through 2 cat and cow stretches, starting with cow. Breathe in, tilt your tailbone to the ceiling, drop your belly, and lift your gaze. Exhale, tilt your tailbone, tuck your pelvis underneath you, push the ground away, and drop your head. Again, inhale, tilt the tailbone to the ceiling, drop the belly, lift the chest. And exhale, tuck your tail around your spine. Feel those shoulder blades separating or protracting. Good. Lengthen out to a nice neutral spine. Good. Make your way onto your bottom, facing me. We're gonna sit with zigzag legs. So if you wanna mirror me, have your right leg in front and your left leg back. Then bring your roller close to you so that your right hand is on the roller. Left arm's out to the side. It's a lot of right and left, so if it doesn't quite make sense to you, that's fine. Just mirror me to the best of your ability. We're gonna flip the palm of our hand up on the foam roller, sliding out. The roller's gonna come up kind of underneath or just below my elbow as we reach overhead for a big stretch. Slowly rising up, push down to come up. Other hand's gonna come onto that bent knee and take a side bend in the opposite direction. Repeat. Hand comes onto the roller with the palm of your hand facing the ceiling. Slide the roller away from you, allowing it to come up almost to your elbow and reach overhead. Keep your shoulders out of your ears even here. Then press down to rise up. Grab a hold of your knee as you side bend towards the knee. Let's hold this for a second because it feels so good. See if you can find even weight through your two sit bones. Maybe relax a little bit more into the stretch with each breath. Rise. Place two hands on the roller about as wide as your mat and turn to face the roller. Push the roller forward so that it comes again just below your elbows and drop your head through your arms. Press down to rise up, similar to that previous motion of swan that we were doing. Again, push the roller away from you, forward fold, and press down to rise up. One more time. All the way up. We'll take a counter rotation. So you're gonna twist towards your leg that's bent backwards. One hand is on your knee, one hand is on your heel, or wherever you can reach. Maybe you reach your shin, maybe you have one hand on your thigh. Just hold your leg wherever you can appropriately grab, and then gently turn your gaze and look over your back shoulder. Unwind, and then we'll switch sides. So bring your roller to the other end of the mat. Zigzag the legs. So you want the leg that's gonna be parallel to the foam roller to be away from the foam roller. Your other leg that's in front of you is perpendicular to the roller itself. Start with the palm of your hand facing up to the ceiling on the roller. Top arm's gonna reach overhead. You're gonna frame your face, almost creating a very long oval over the head. Push down to come up, recruiting those little muscles underneath the scapulas to rise. Grab a hold of your front knee and side bend towards it. Stay here for a few moments. Again, potentially find even weight through your two sit bones. Keep your head back in line with your spine. Let's repeat that. Palm of the hand facing up, side bend, reach over. Press down to rise. Reaching fingertips towards the ceiling, side bend. Turn to face the roller, two wide hands, about as wide as the mat. Push the roller away from you, drop your chest heavy through your arms. Breathe in, lift, extend. Exhale, press away. Two more. Inhale, lift. Exhale out. And one more. Breathe in, lift. And we'll just stay lifted here. Take that counter rotation. One hand to the knee, one hand to your heel or wherever else you can reach. Find length in your spine and then turn your gaze to look over your back shoulder. align the spine. And then we're gonna take our right leg, if you're still mirroring me, right leg on top of left leg, flex the feet, make 2 parallel shin bones. From this position, you can gently press your top knee towards the floor. It's possible that we're pretty tight here, so if you have a yoga block, you could always place the block between your knee and foot to help close this gap. I suppose since we have our roller, if you have a big enough gap, you can place this here. That's fine wherever you're happiest. This stretch tends to release the longer you hold it. So let's try to hold this for at least another 30 seconds. And notice if you're able to relax a little bit more into it. Maybe you get a little deeper in these next 30 seconds or so. You should feel a majority of the stretch on the outside of your hips. You can lean forward, you can walk your hands down. Slowly lift your chest, and then switch which leg is on top. Stacking the shins, make 2 parallel lines. Make sure you bring your bottom foot forward enough so that it's truly underneath this top knee. Use the block or your roller if there's a significant gap so that you can actually relax into the stretch. This just helps your body realize it's touching something, it's time to relax, let go. If after you've held that and you can remove it, you can certainly do that and then lean forward some, pressing your knee towards the ground. And with that, we'll start to lift up our chest, and we'll finish our foam roll session with that stretch. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you feel great. Be sure to like, follow, comment, share, all that good stuff helps me know that you're watching these videos and getting something out of them. I'm always open to requests, so if there's anything that you would like me to teach or help guide you through, just leave a comment. I'll catch you guys next time. Take care. Bye.